Hi friends, after some time I am again before you to share with you about one of the very important issue, which is various support systems being used in mines. Before start of this video, I would like to dedicate this video lecture specially to this year's fourth semester students, because they have requested to prepare this for their better understanding. I would like to thank Sri Aditya, who was after me to prepare this video on support system. Now let me start with that there are many types of support system being used in underground mines. As we know, there are roof bolt system, safari support, crossbar, different types of cogs or chocks types of support system, maybe wooden, maybe steel. There are pit prop and to some extent timber prop also used in specific places, especially at the Gofage of the depolaring district. Apart from this, hydraulic props are also used. All these types of supports are generally used in borden pillar or room and pillar types of support system, mining system. But for longwall system, especially the powered support system are used. But out of all this support system, roof bolts has been more acceptable and popular in Indian underground mining context, which is possibly because it has got too many positive sides or benefits. That's its linear progress, if considered out of all, is maximum with respect to manpower given, with respect to cost given. It is very easy to install. It can be varying the bolt numbers in row wise or column wise. That's the factor of safety can be changed suitably for different types of roof, that is poor, fair and good, or roof having different rock mass rating. It is very easy to carry right up to the face, and it is not easily spoiled or rotten, and its anchorage testing can be done very easily to know about its LBC or load bearing capacity. Now we shall look one by one briefly how to install or erect this roof bolt type of support system in mines. Before installing bolts in mines, we are to be assured that what is the quantity that's in mace. What do you understand about mace? That row versus column. For this, you are to find out the rock load in ton per meter square and subsequently the support resistance in ton per meter square based on the different of type, roof class or type of RMR. Dividing the support resistance by rock load, one can get the factor of safety of roof bolts. It is preferred to go with factor of safety more than 2 always. Following precautions we are to take before installing the bolts. What are these? Let us discuss. To see whether the bolts are really good to install, it is very important to understand or to check, but it is how. First, we should know that it is known as the TMT bar, TMT ribbed bar. So we should see the ribs of this ribbed bar should be 2.5 to 5% of the bolt dia, or at least it is 0.5 to 1 millimeter range. It is given in detail in Digimus Circular 11 by 2009. Next, fixing up the length of bolts, which is at least 1/3 of the gallery width, but never less than 1.5 meter. That means if it is 4.8 meter gallery width, it would be at least 1.6 meter, which is given in 3 by 1993 and 6 by 1993 DGMS circulars. Next, to check your roof types, whether it is poor, fair or good, because it will determine the bolt density, that is number of bolt per meter square roof area, and which will be added by 25% for junction. Next, the availability of bearing plate, which shall not be less than 15 centimeter square in dimension. Then, as per the circular 5 by 2002 and 11 by 2002, anchorage testing machine should be very conducive to testing the strength of bolts. You should have the quality, good quality QSC, quick setting cement capsules, which shall be randomly tested for its quality assurance to confirm the availability of percentage of its elements, 6 number of elements given in the circular 4 by 2010. There are different circulars though on the quality standards of QSC, such as 6 by 1994, 5 by 2013, 2 by 2009, out of which 2 by 2009 speaks about chloride free cement capsule to be used, as chloride enhances the rusting rates of MS steel bolt, releasing it from grouting. So if by chance the cement capsule contains the chloride, so you never know if you do not go for sampling, then if it is used this same capsule with chloride, then it will have some rusting. So finally, within very your you see the very minimum time period, it will release the bolt from its grouting. Now, during installation of bolts, we should take care of the following. What are those? Arrange required number of ribbed bar TMT, that is bolts with required number of QSC capsule or resin capsule as the case may be. This is important. Now, the QSC capsule in general will be 3 times of the number of bolts to be installed. For example, if 20 number of bolts are required to be installed, then 60 number of QSC cartridge to be kept with you. All items including water can to immerse the cartridges to be kept near to the site of erection. Now about drilling and fixing of bolts. The bolt angle should generally be at normal to the bedding plane, but the side bolts may be kept inclined outwards in such a way that 10 to 15% of the bolt length remain inside the roof over the solid coal pillar, which will provide good locking arrangement and prevent the bolt to come out and to bear the load adequately. So it is very important to have the side bolts have some angle. There are some other norms which people will develop in due course of their working experience. While drilling is complete for required number of bolts to be installed, then 3 cartridges one by one to be dipped down the water can to soak water. It is the best or optimum time to take out the cartridge from water when bubbling coming out gets stopped. Immediately the cartridge to be taken out and pushed inside the hole, and simultaneously the ribbed, which are examined earlier as fit for the purpose, the ribbed bar to be pushed in, followed by tightening the bearing plate. This will complete the setting of bolts. Similarly, all other required bolts to be installed. Now about testing strength of bolts. At least 10% of the installed bolts should be invariably subjected to anchorage testing at random. Minimum anchorage strength should be 3 ton after 30 minutes, 5 ton after 2 hours, and 8 ton after 28 days. Only 10% to be randomly tested And out of 9%, there is this 10%, 9% bolt shall be subjected to anchorage testing, while 1% shall be subjected to destructive testing to assess the support efficacy, and a record is to be kept in a bound page register, which is mandatory as per the DGM Circular 7 by 2002. Where the coal has a tendency to spoil, we generally find this sort of tendency. The sides shall be kept supported systematically in addition to the roof support. Now, the something will be told in brief about the safari support, which is also very important. It is one of the very good important support, especially for supporting the green roof area in front of the working face. It is also seen to be installed along traveling roadways as well as along the trunk roadways. We generally consider safari as a wooden crossbar fixed on U-clamp on either side of the pillar along the gallery. In order to set safari, we need the following: one wooden bar of ideal dimension, that is at least 15 centimeter or 6 inch in dia, of adequate size to fit the clamp. Next, two holes at each side, that means 4 holes for one safari of at least 50 centimeter length, to be drilled at the side of the pillar just below the immediate roof, such that the wooden laggings at the rate of 1 lagging per meter length of the bar can be kept over it to provide good contact with the roof. Next, the angle of holes are very important for the stability purpose of the safari and for its proper LBC too. The inner end of the clamp rod should be pointing towards the floor, such that it will not fail even if load comes onto it. At least the clamp will rise to horizontal position, holding the bear in place still. So this is very important, maintaining the angle. But before placing bar, one should ensure that there is no overhang in the roof. Otherwise it is difficult. The bar is of suitable length to fit the gallery width, and there is sufficient laggings so that number of laggings shall not be less than 1 for every meter length of the bar. That is, for 4.8 meter length of the bar, we need to have at least 5 number of laggings. Preferably the laggings are of 1.2 meter in length, having adequate strength so that these laggings can take care of 2 consecutive safari. If all these attributing factors are ideally taken care of, then a set of 2 safari can have very good load bearing capacity and quite capable to restrict the intermittent roof fall also. Now, another very important type of support in Indian mining condition, is the cog support or chalk support. Be it wooden or steel, the floor should be very strong and preferably not undulating for its ideal setting. The cogging sleepers should be of 1.2 meter length at least. The sleepers shall be placed in crisscross manner with its 4 sides, and there shall be 4 corner props at go fetch support, or to make it for strategically placed cogs. There is a key or wooden small piece inserted in the middle part of it, such that it can be easily dismantled when it is needed by taking out this key. There is another type of steel cog or chalk, which is made up by placing square type of tools one by one over another. There are 2 different sizes of such tools. One is 0.8 to 1 meter and another is smaller, that is about half of the earlier. Sometimes to adjust the roof height, 2 bigger and 1 smaller such tools are used one upon another. For lesser roof height, only 2 bigger size tools, or sometimes 1 bigger size, 1 smaller size, are enough, as there is cogging slippers to be given over it to provide good contact with immediate roof and making it stable and strong enough. Before installing either steel or wooden cogs, the floor shall be made suitable and as far as plain so that proper LBC is attained. Next is one of the very simple and cheap type of support, which is pit prop. During my tenure as colliery manager in Central Coalfields Limited of Sayal, we used to prepare the pit props in our workshop from the your scrap palm pipes we used to make. This is very handy and adjustable in heights up to 3 meter of roof comfortably. It has got two elements welded together, bottom member and top member. The bottom member is about 1/3 of the total height with a larger dia, and the upper member is about 2/3 of the total height with smaller dia. The height is adjusted by inserting piece of wooden log in the bottom member. There is one U-shaped member welded with the upper member, which will receive any wooden piece of about 12 to 15 inch to have a proper contact with the immediate roof. This is quite popular as it can be made easily within the mine workshop itself from the scrap pumping pipes. So this is generally the very common types of